Look who's back in the Montana garage. I said I gave up. I didn't really give up. I just been waiting on parts. So let's see. This box finally showed up today. It's been 3 weeks approximately, give or take a day or two, since I talked to the folks at Pertronix, and they said they were going to send me a replacement module right out. Well, apparently it takes 3 weeks to get something right out from California. The guy was super helpful on the phone when I called him. He gave me some troubleshooting tips, most of which I'd already tried, and was happy or willing at least to send out a new module to see if that's the case. But he said he would send it right out, and that was 3 weeks ago. I emailed him once, maybe a weekend, and he emailed me right back, so that was cool. Just said, I think it went out, I'll double check and let you know. And then more time went by. I emailed a couple more times and didn't even respond to my emails for several days, and then finally he said it should be coming soon. Anyway, so not super stoked about their customer service. They did send the part, I guess. I guess we're about to find out if that's the problem, if it was a bad module, or if there is something I'm still screwing up. But I posted the last video about trying to install a Pertronix, and you guys had a lot of good suggestions, but you know, pretty much everything you guys suggested I've already tried or is done. It has voltage at cranking. It has a good ground. Yeah, I don't know remember what else you guys said. But anyways, I'm not going to force you to watch me put the new Pertronix in. You guys have seen me do that once before, but I will get that done, and we'll come back and see if we can find some spark on this thing now. All right, it's getting to be the moment of truth. Got the new Pertronix igniter module in the distributor. Got the rotor back in there, got everything back on. I got the black wire hooked to the negative of the coil, red wire hooked to the positive of the coil. Like I said, I do have voltage when I'm cranking. My battery might be a little low. It's been sitting for 3 weeks, but I'm just gonna hop in and give her a crank and see what's gonna happen. I'm not super optimistic that this is gonna fix the FiTech deal, but we just need to get some spark again before we can figure out what's going on with the FiTech. So, all right, key on. All right, I don't know if it's normal for that to say 4 volts when it first starts, but so we're starting at 11.8. Like I said, the battery's, it's been sitting without being charged for a while. Let's see if we got an RPM signal or if it acts like it wants to do anything. Oh, we got RPM signal. Oh, but look, the battery voltage is still doing the normal jumping all over the place. It didn't make any effort to fire, but the FiTech's probably not giving it any fuel, so I'm not going to know if it's got spark just by doing this. All right, but we didn't have the weird RPM signal. And then with the other module, I didn't even have an RPM signal, at least the last few times I tried it. I don't remember in the beginning, but so hopefully that means something. So let's go pull a plug or see if we can find out if we got any spark. Here's my first quick little test to see if we have spark. I don't know if I can do this with a camera in my hands, though. Let's see, how can I hold this? Need to set up something a little different here. All right, I just hooked up the timing light. And as you can see, she's flashing, so there's spark there. That didn't happen with the last module, so now we have spark, but we still have. So FiTech told me my voltage drop was because of the points. So I hooked up the battery charger now. I got an RPM signal, but look at the voltage. Oh, and then I get it when I shut it off, I got that weird RPM signal there. Now that's what happened when I was talking to FiTech, and they said that was because of the points. Ain't no points in there anymore, FiTech. All right, I had to play with the timing, moving the position of the distributor a little bit, because installing that Pertronix changes that, but this is with dumping fuel down the throttle body. So it's still not timed, but it does fire when I add gas to it. So we got spark. I'm still getting some weird signals there, and so the RPM signal, when I crank it, it looks normal. So the RPM signal seems normal when I'm cranking. Once in a while I shut it off, it goes to that 58,000 or whatever, and the battery voltage is still jumping around. Now, right now I'm hooked with the white wire to the coil positive, and maybe that's not ideal, but it's kind of the same as having it to the switch to me. But I'll try it again, but all the same stuff happens if I hook that white wire right to the battery. And if I take voltage reading off the battery while I'm cranking, it'll stay around, 12, and I'll be hooked right to that battery, and this number down here will still jump around and go down to like 4. So like I said, back to calling FiTech in the morning and seeing if they got more things to try, other than I'm pretty sure it's a bad ECU or whatever, but what do I know? Virtually nothing. Well, there's a current sight out here at the Montana garage, the DD Speed Shop 57 Chevy with the hood up. I can't even look at this car without having to take the hood up, it seems like. Anyways, another FiTech update. I finally got a hold of FiTech. I've been busy. They have, kind of not super long hours to get a hold of their tech service, but and I was waiting on the Pertronix thing, but so that should probably be in here, but I got the Pertronix thing switched. I got Spark, but the FiTech was still doing the same thing. Talked to them this morning, and I finally got a guy that was super helpful, had me run a couple more tests, and he determined that, yeah, the FiTech's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not, there's something wrong with the computer. So I just sent an email about trying to, get it sent in for some warranty. I'm a little concerned about the warranty issue because, as you guys know, I didn't purchase the FiTech unit. It came on the car. They donated to Dan. So the tech guy that helped me said he didn't think it was going to be an issue, but that was kind of up to the marketing people and blah, blah, blah. But hopefully they're going to take care of it for me. So regardless, the thing doesn't work. I mean, I already assumed it didn't work, but now they ran some tests and confirmed to me that it doesn't work. So whether they are going to warranty it or not, it doesn't work, so I got to take it off. So I'm going to take the dang thing off of here. I didn't even know I had this carburetor. I was going to put my old carburetor from my 55 on it. And I found a little different one. I've had this for years. Apparently it's stuck under my shelf here. I didn't even know I had it. So I might take it apart and rebuild it. I'll probably just clean it. Everything seems to function. I'll probably just try to do the easy way out. I'll clean it up real good and put it on there and see if it works. And it's not that hard to take it back off if I find out that it's leaking or it's not working good and I want to put a rebuild kit in it. I was a little, it's not as easy as just swapping the throttle body off and the carburetor on. I got fuel lines to figure out how to, this is my fuel inlet line, and now that's got to go. Instead of having this fitting, I got to get a, a rubber end fitting or get something different for the carburetor. Anyways, I got some figuring out to do there. It's not anything super complicated, but it's not just as easy as just throttle body off, carburetor on. So I think I'll tinker around with that a little bit today, and we'll see how it goes. Moose, I'm trying to work here. You're kind of in the way. You're just trying to hang out? That's okay, I like you hanging out, but you gotta get out of the way. I'm trying to get stuff off of here. Alright, I guess I need to get it up in the air to crawl under there and get the O2 sensor wires undone. And out in the gravel is no fun because I can't really get a jack in here. So I'm going to push this in the shop a little bit and we'll see if we can get that figured out. Now if I can see to figure out how that wiring harness or connection comes loose. I took it apart once because somebody suggested maybe that was causing my problem. It wasn't plugged in right or something, but I never had a bugger figuring out how to get it disconnected. Kind of hard to tell like which spot it's supposed to come apart at, and of course my little brain doesn't work that good, so I already don't remember what I did last time. Guess it's just a matter of pulling it apart. Alright, now I need the zip tie cutter type device. You know, something like that. Going down. And now hopefully I can fish this O2 sensor harness back up through here. Bada bing. That wire's disconnected. Let's see, so we should be down to probably just some vacuum hoses hooked up back here. And the linkage and the bolts holding it on, I think. I get the washers off here so I don't just chuck them down the intake when you lift her off. That would be bad. All right, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. If I could just get it off. Bye-bye, FiTech. All right, so here we have one slightly or heavily used Holley. I looked it up, I guess it's a 600 CFM. 4-barrel, obviously, electric choke. I have absolutely no history on this. I do not remember where I got this thing. I know I should probably take it apart and rebuild it, but I just cleaned it up. Everything seems to function. I can, when I open the secondaries, I can hear the little vacuum canister kind of sucking, you know, kind of vacuuming, so I think that's working right. Feels like the little diaphragm down here is doing something. I have no idea what's in it for jets and all that stuff, but I can hear the floats moving up and down. I'm going to just throw it on and, you know, just try to get it running. We'll probably have to take it back off and, if not, rebuild it, tune it up, tune it a little bit, or change jets, and who knows, maybe it'll all work out for what I need it to do. But that's the easy part, really. Now the hard part, oh, wait a second now, what the, apparently the FiTech is not the same. So this has to go in the, I gotta move the studs to the outer holes. That's weird. I guess the FiTech has inner and outer holes. I was like, how was it gonna work if I wouldn't have had those? But I guess the FiTech's just like this, it has both of them. We got to move the studs out here, so hopefully I can get them out of there. All right, so here's my plan for the fuel line. Because, I don't know why I would want to do this, but because I'm thinking if they fix the FiTech, I'm probably going to put it back on because everything's kind of set up for it. I'm not going to totally destroy the fuel line setup because hopefully that's going back on. So what I have right now is fuel coming in from the tank right here, goes into this FiTech pump, and then it goes out from the pump up to, well, you just go to the throttle body, but that'll go to the carburetor. I have this fitting here. I think I'm gonna, hopefully it's right, I'm gonna just take these two off, connect them here. I'll have to get a cap to plug this top piece off. But then that way all my fuel line is still the same and everything. When the FiTech goes back on, I can just get rid of this. So the only other issue I have then is the fuel line comes over here, and then it has one of these 6AN, I believe, fittings. And now I just need, right here's where the fuel line is gonna hook up now. So I'll have to, that's just rubber hose though. So I'll probably just, hopefully I can keep it the same to the filter and then route it over here somehow and just take this collar loose and get this fitting off of here. That's our plan. See if it works. So there we have it. My new friend Holly is on the DD57 motor. Got rid of my enemy FiTech. Hopefully we'll get it working someday. But I think I have this mostly set up now. Like I said before, I have no idea if this carburetor is even any good, but I figured we'd add some gas to it and see what happens. So I got all the vacuum lines, I think, hooked up. I did have to replace this back carburetor stud because it was not stripped out in the intake, but just the nut was spinning on top of the stud because the threads were kind of bad. So I just had to redo that. I got my little fitting in here connecting the two fuel lines. This has the clickety-clackety fuel pump, so I should be able to turn that bad boy on and let it run for a minute, and I believe that should fill up the float bowls, right? I didn't dump any gas. I know you can dump gas down the vents, but I think with the electric fuel pump, it should fill it up. I think, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we got a clickety-clackety going. Now, when I did the Pertronix, I messed with that the other day, and I do have spark, but it does, they tell you right in the instructions that somehow it changes the timing. So I had to, let's see, are we getting, all right, we already got a problem. I'm seeing gas. Doesn't look like it's coming. Let me turn clicky-clacky off. All right, that's got gas on it. But I don't think it's coming out of the hose. I did loosen this little thing up and turn it, but I think it's coming out of, dang it, where this fuel rail goes across to connect the two float bowls. Nothing can be easy. I mean, what do I expect from an ancient carburetor that I had no idea anything about, but I was hoping I'd get lucky, maybe. It did squirt gas now. So against my better judgment, I'm trying to decide if I want to see if it'll start, even though it's leaking a little gasoline. All right, I haven't turned the fuel pump back on to check out the leak again, but like I said, against probably good judgment, I'm gonna just try to start it real quick. Let's see. Guess maybe I should have a fire extinguisher handy. Not super worried about it, but beans, I got one right here that's probably been expired since 1995. Yeah, says it's still charged. We'll keep it handy. Gas isn't flammable, is it? Maybe a little. Let's see what happens. Like I said, the timing is going to be off, wrong, bad. She lives! Let's look for fuel leaks. Well, better than FiTech already. Started right up. But yeah, look how wet we're getting with the fuel again right there. Darn it, I was hoping I was going to get lucky with this carburetor. This is why I haven't changed to a carburetor sooner, because I didn't really have a good one. I didn't even know I had this one, but I guess it's not good either. All right, back to the drawing board. Well, I guess I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place. I'm going to run into town and see if anybody's got a rebuild kit on hand for that thing. And I guess try that. Spend 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever rebuild kit is, and hopefully yeah, there's new gaskets and seals and everything in all those kits, so hopefully whatever is leaking, we can figure it out and that'll solve it. Always got to be something. Off to town I go. All right, I am back. You might notice the sun is a little, well, you can't see the sun, but it's not quite as bright out. It's getting to be evening time. I went and got the rebuild kit. And then I got distracted with doing YouTube stuff. I did my live premiere tonight, so thanks to all you guys that came and watched that, the one about spraying the bottom of the car. And then I went to BW's channel and kind of hung out and watched his live for a little bit, and then had dinner with my son, and now I'm going to try to get on getting this carburetor rebuilt. Guess I better clean up some stuff, and I don't know, I guess I'll probably do the rebuild back on my bench back here. So this is supposed to be like a little workbench, but as you can see, it's just a place to set everything I own. So we'll get rid of that stuff too. All right, made a little room on my bench here. I might have to move a little bit more stuff once I get over here and get started. And I picked up all my tools, which was good, right? Clean up your mess. Well, if I had any brains at all, I would have realized that I need about half those tools to take the carburetor back off. Got them mostly back out. Hopefully it's not, hopefully this is all I need. Work harder, not smarter. I guess that's my motto. Carburetor's back off. I got the mess cleaned up again. And I cleaned up my little workbench over here. I got a couple little cups for putting stuff in. I got, well, somewhere I got some carb cleaner. Dumped the carb in the drain pan to get rid of some of the gas. Got the little rebuild kit here. And holy shnikes, there's a lot of pieces in here. Now, I've done carb rebuilds, I think, 2 or 3 times. One fairly recently, the other couple were many moons ago. So, I'm no expert. This isn't a how-to video. I might film a little bit of it, probably just a lot of fast motion so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not trying to teach anybody how to do this because I don't know how to do it either. All I can do is I can read, and they give you a whole bunch of instructions here. So I'm going to basically just follow the instructions and try to pay attention to what I'm taking apart and put it back together the way it was with the new pieces in it. So that's my carb rebuilding experience, and we're going to hope that if nothing else, maybe it'll inspire somebody out there that doesn't really know what they're doing, that they can figure out how to do it too. Or maybe at the end this isn't going to work with the darn and you realize it's something you should pay an expert for. So time will tell on that, I guess. All right, so here's the instructions. It looks a little intimidating. And this kit is for, oh, let's talk about that. So I went to O'Reilly Auto Parts today to buy this kit. And they had this hanging on the wall. And right there it says number 12750. I don't know if you can read that. Carburetor rebuild kit for 4160 models. Well, I'm not smart enough to know what the model of the carburetor is, but on the choke tower, there is a list number on all these Holley carburetors. Right there, list 9834, this one says. And again, I don't have any idea where this carburetor came from, who gave it to me, who I bought it from, how many years I've had it. I didn't even know I had it. It was under there. Anyways, so I took that list number to O'Reilly, and they had these hanging on the wall, and I said, well, how do I know which one works? And that guy didn't know either. He spent 10 minutes Googling and looking stuff up, and he told me I needed to order some marine kit. This must be off a boat. He's like, if you can't tell me what it came from, I can't really help you. I'm like, well, it's a Holley carburetor. It probably came from Holley. It wasn't on it might have been on something, but it probably was just an aftermarket carburetor. I don't know. Anyways, he really couldn't help me. So we can order you something, blah, blah, blah. So then I remember in the past, I'd looked up these list numbers. Holley has or somewhere on the old internet, if you Google your list number, you can come up with a big sheet of all the list numbers, and then it tells you. So I found that, I looked it up, and then by the list number, then it gives you other information about the carburetor, and it told me that it was indeed a model 4160. So I told the guy, this is what I need, I'm going to buy it. He thought I was crazy. Maybe I am, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks a lot like the ones in the pictures. So I think we're good to go. So here's the instructions. They look intimidating, but there's all this, and there's some on the backside, but all we need is right here. The rest is just different languages, and I only barely read one language, so we'll just go with English and hope that gets us there. Talks about disassembly, and then somewhere in here you'll start putting it back together. The one thing that makes me a little nervous is it does say, please note this is a general guideline and may not cover every step required to rebuild your specific carburetor. Please refer to your owner's manual for additional information. I don't know what I'm doing, so I need every specific step, but I'm assuming they just put that in there so that when it's all screwed up, they can say, well, you didn't do this one step that we didn't tell you to do, but you were supposed to know to do it, so it's your fault it's screwed up, not our fault. One of those deals, who knows? I think I can figure it out. Let's get to work. Can you see me over there? I don't have a great place to set up my camera right here. I tried to put it up on the toolboxes or on the wall, and I can get it to where you can see what I'm doing, but then you can't see me, or you can see me, but you can't see what I'm doing. That's probably kind of far away, but it's going to be a lot of fast motion. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the 4 bolts or screws from the primary and 4 bolts screws from secondary fuel bowls. So we're just going to take the fuel bowls off, and we'll find out what happens next. Let's speed this up a bit. Well, like I said, I don't know where this thing came from, but it's pretty clean on the inside. It's not full of a bunch of crud or rust looking stuff. Like we rebuilt the Edelbrock that came on my son's pickup when he got it, and it looked just like the inside of my fuel tank. It had all them little rusty little rock looking stuff in there. So anyways, that's good. So all these pieces have, obviously gaskets between all these different layers, and I'm assuming this thing has been together a while because these things do not come off. So I'm trying to carefully, I'm not trying to dig with my screwdriver in here and I'm just trying to get under the edge. I don't want to gouge up everything, but trying to get the big pieces off that I can, then I'm soaking it in thinner to see if that'll loosen it up before I go to town scraping away with something that's not going to screw up the pieces. This little guy is the O-ring on that. In the instructions, they call it a transfer tube. That's where the fuel goes from the primary to the secondary fuel bowl. So that's where it was leaking. And you can tell that O-ring was in not so good shape. So who knows what else was wrong, but that's where most of my fuel leak was from. I can see right now that the amount of time I'm going to spend scraping these gaskets that are super stuck on here off of all the parts. I'm probably going to wish I would have just went and bought a new carburetor, but I'm cheap and poor, and I didn't really want to pony up a few $100 for a carburetor, especially if that FiTech is going to start working once they warranty it, or if they warranty it. So The last carburetor we built was an Edelbrock, and it must not have been as old or something. I mean, we had to clean and scrape, but this thing is, I mean, this stuff is not coming off at all. Hopefully, spending the night in some thinner will help, I guess. Or I hope it will anyways. I don't know if it will, but I hope it will. All right, I'm still out here battling with cleanup. Most of it I'm getting pretty good. See my mess of gaskets. So these gaskets, like I said, were stuck on here pretty good. Been on here a while. You got to be careful. You don't want to just start jamming a screwdriver across here and scratching it all up. What I found that works pretty good is this here handy tool that I got out of my grandfather's toolbox. Over here, Grandpa Erickson. I got all the snap-on tools when he passed, or a while after he passed. This, I believe, I'm not an expert, but I think this would be more at home in a 1970s kitchen. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be, but some sort of skinny little spatula thing. And it's, you know, kind of real thin sheet metal, but I'm just kind of carefully, I soak this in thinner for a while, and then I scrape away just lightly. And as you can see, I'm not really scraping the metal. You know, I'm just kind of scraping a layer of gasket off. So I'll do that, and then I'll soak it, and then I'll do that again. And then eventually it gets pretty thin, and I can just kind of hit it with a scrub brush. I've got this little scrub brush that's got like nylon, but then inside of the inside bristles are a little stiffer, almost like a real fine steel wool or something, or like a steel brush. But it's not scratching it up, but it's taking that off pretty good. This was part of my bike cleaning kit. I used to be kind of a cyclist. Not so much anymore, but I try to ride my bike once in a while. But anyways, thanks to Grandpa's kitchen tools and my bike tools, we'll get this cleaned up eventually. All right, had to charge my battery as usual. Bring you back for one more update. That took quite a bit longer than expected. That never happens, right? Oh, for me it always happens. But mostly, all I got done is I got it all cleaned up. So there's some odds and end bolts, a couple pieces and parts there. Still got some more little bolts soaking. And then all the cleaned up stuff is over here. So I think I got her pretty good. No more gasket material. I didn't mar the surfaces up at all, it doesn't seem. When I rebuilt the Edelbrock carburetor, we took the floats and stuff out, but you know, in the instructions it doesn't have you take them out. There's nothing to replace, I guess, so I just cleaned up back there. There's still a little, you know, discoloration in the bowls, but there's nothing in there. It's not gonna cause any trouble, I don't think. So, oops, there's a little piece that fell out of there. I'll figure out how to put that back. That guy goes in there. Base plate, no gasket material. Again, I didn't take all these linkage things apart. I just sprayed them and cleaned them up the best I could. Same with the little butterflies here. I don't even know if those come out of there the way the little, oops, screws or whatever kind of cross-hatched back there. I don't think they'll even come out. We got the metering block, I think this is called. Got all those, you know, I scrubbed them, I scraped them, got all the gasket off there. I sprayed carburetor cleaner, high pressure through all those little orifices, and then sprayed air through everywhere. So inside of this maybe doesn't look the best, still a lot of like black, but I scrubbed and did what I could do. So I was hoping I was going to put this together tonight too, but it's getting pretty late, and so I'm going to call it. Hopefully come back out tomorrow, put this together, put that on there, and make vroom vroom noises. See you then. All right, it's a couple days later from the carb rebuilding thing you were just watching there in the shop. I'm outside because I can't show you what's in the shop. Well, I mean I could, but I got some stuff for the next video in there, so you can't see that yet. Unless you follow me on Instagram at Montana Garage, because I already posted some of that stuff there. So usually you kind of get a sneak peek of what's going on over there. So go over to Instagram and follow me over there too. But anyways, this video got a little long with the carb rebuilding, and I wanted to get it all done in one video because this 57, the FiTech stuff has just been dragging out forever, but I didn't want to cut too much of it out either. So anyways, this is the end of part 1. Come back in a couple days for part 2 and see if we actually get this thing on the road. You know, That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Appreciate you watching. Like, share, subscribe. See you in a couple days.